Usually we don't read that much, but I just finished our second book for this month. Actually, Liberty finished this a couple days ago, but I figure since I'm here, I might as well review it, you know? So, this book here is Cuckoo by Madison Clell, and at first glance, it seems like it might be something like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but this is a graphic novel about a woman's experience with D.I.D. Like, I know she puts multiple personality disorder on the cover, but throughout the rest of the book, she refers to it as D.I.D. and like even makes sure that people know what it stands for by putting it at the bottom of the page. So upon opening this thing, you see a bunch of illustrations, and they're really interesting, really artistic, and some of them look like they were drawn really fast, but others are really, really interesting and really detailed. So it's a real adventure, this one here. And she talks about her experience with finding her alters, although she starts the story out kind of in the middle of it all, like when she already has a good knowledge of her system and kind of knowing how everything works. But she goes back in the story because most of it's about how she figured out she had D.I.D. and figured out a bunch of the trauma memories that she went through in the past. But another thing that I really like about this book is she even includes a trigger warning, a whole page of it, because this is before she gets into the more triggering stuff about unearthing the really vivid memories, and she kept a whole page about like reactions and trigger warning and definitions of flashbacks, and I think that's a really beautiful touch. So although this book does touch on some pretty hefty trauma stuff, it keeps it in a pretty lighthearted manner, and I was pretty surprised by that. She keeps a good sense of humor, even though it's kind of like sarcastic and a little bit cynical at times, but it's pretty funny. Like, we were like snickering because of this book a couple of times, and it was really enjoyable. In a few parts, this book has really funny scenes like what it's like to be co-conscious with someone and still being able to see what's going on but having no control of the body. Like that happened with one of her little alters, and it was really great how she was able to illustrate and depict that and like, I don't know, present it in such a good, clear manner. Like, the way everything is presented in this book is so visually, like, accurate. It's awesome. This book also goes into more detailed things that you don't see a lot about, like the family members of someone with D.I.D. For example, her sister, she has a chapter about her sister and what that was like, and how there's a trending thing about how the siblings of people with D.I.D. or OSDD are usually worse off than them, which we found pretty interesting, and, like, uncertain about where our sister's gonna end up in our life. That just gave us something to think about, because she does exhibit some symptoms of stuff, but totally uncertain so far. She's still young, but, you know, something to think about. But really interesting to see other facts about D.I.D. that you don't usually see. That's another thing I really like about this book. It addresses some of that stuff that people don't really talk about, which is one of our favorite things to do here on this channel. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Even though at first we were a little bit reluctant about this book because we're a little bit picky with graphics, you know, being an art major and everything, and someone who's read like a crap ton of mangas in the past. We were kind of like iffy about the illustrations in this book, but then we thought of it more in a way of like how this person, this system, is really trying to express themselves and what the world is kind of like to them, and, you know, their own style and artistic expression, because there are a few different styles in this book, and it's really interesting to see them all working together. So we learned to love it, and by the end we were really digging the style. Usually we have a change of hearts about things that we're reluctant about, like, you know, art styles. So this was really fun. This was a real adventure. It was a real thing that kind of pushed us out of our comfort zone when at first we thought this was right up our alley, something we'd seen a million times. But this graphic novel was really cool, really unexpected, and it was a real treat to read, so I would definitely recommend it. And this thing even comes with trigger warnings, so you don't need that too much, even though I would proceed with caution because some things can set people off unexpectedly. So, you know, just proceed with caution as you would with any other mental health book, but it has a ton of definitions, a ton of interesting stories, ton of plot, great characters, and just a really interesting way that she censors people that she doesn't want to have their identities released. Like she even draws like paper bags over people's heads, like her parents, because she doesn't want to like let people know who they are, which is really polite of her. But yeah, good book, high quality. Cuckoo by Madison Clell is a high quality read for anybody who wants to learn more about D.I.D. or just see what it's like for her to live her life. But yeah, I should probably return this book to my friend. We borrowed it from someone and just need to return it now after the Acrylic Chasers read it. But yeah, this book really reminded us of them, which is kind of sad because we haven't seen them in a while and would like to again. So, Tarot System, if you're out there watching this video, hit us up, please. We don't have much of a social life. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you all in the next video. Thick boys watching TV. Feel like Adventure Time, buddy? It's not moving. What are you doing? Son.